Yeah, we'll try to get Timmy and Trey out of here quickly. These guys got to fuel their bodies and eat and stuff, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to tell you about my friendship with Coach Wacker here in a few.
Questions for Timmy and Trey, please, first. Trey, this kind of as a first game going against, well, I guess second, but first going against another opponent, how do you feel everything kind of flowed and got you going as well? Like it seemed like it was easy to get going today.
I mean, that comes down to our preparation. But yeah, I guess you could say it was easy to get going. But that's just what goes on behind the scenes. We put so much work in and we play so hard every single day that it's easy to come out there and perform when the time comes.
What was working so well for you personally? Because you seem to be, ready to go right off the jump.
I just had a mindset to try to impact every possession in some form, regardless of that whatever end of the floor it was on. And it was just like I just went out there and played. And I think that's just what works best for me. I just go play.
Jake, you look comfortable on a couple post-up moves, mid-range stuff. I mean, do you envision yourself? Are you an inside-out type of guy? Is that fair to say? It's just for us. It's for the first time.
I don't know if you would say inside out. I would say inside and out. I would say that. But I mean, it comes down to the game, read and react, and take what's given, kind of thing.
Timmy, y'all were definitely not playing defense like this was an exhibition game. It felt like y'all were playing like a regular season game. What did you just make of your defensive intensity and all the turnovers y'all were able to cause out there?
We just wanted to come out and set the tone for the rest of the season. We know we're going to have to be one of the top 5 defenses in the country if we're going to chase championships like we want to. So that was the main goal.
I think y'all had it killed right out of the gate. First 4 minutes, did 3 stops, whatever. I mean, that's y'all's signature thing, is just getting these consistent stops and turning them into offense. I mean, how much of that is ingrained in the mindset of this group?
I mean, Coach just preaches that every day, and we know that's going to be our thing, the defensive side of the ball. We don't think offense is going to be too much of a problem with all the talent and the system that we play in. So just concentrating and locking in on defense and just trying to create stops and turnovers and just make our offense that much easier.
2 last ones for the players, please.
Trey, are you satisfied with your game today, or do you feel like your expectations are still high?
I wouldn't say satisfied because there were some personal goals that I didn't meet, and it comes down to me dissecting the film and figuring out why I couldn't get certain things accomplished. But I can't really say satisfaction because I'm striving for something far greater.
Last one.
Yeah, Trey, with Courtney and Marcus really kind of leading the way on offense. I know a lot of you guys can swing the ball around, but how helpful is it to have 2 guys that can kind of almost be lead point guards?
It's a privilege, honestly, playing with a court like that. It's just they put in so much work every single day, and it's admirable because you can see that they want it just as bad as the rest of us, and everybody on this team is so special and so talented. It's like anybody you pick on the roster is capable of leading this team. And that's something that's going to make us special as well, because everybody is willing to lead and everybody's willing to follow.
Timmy, Trey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Questions for Coach, please.
Chris, it's one thing for all of us to talk about all these guys, but it's another thing to see it. And to see a starting 5, and then you roll another double-digit scorer in there. And then you roll Jason there who can do certain things. And you can roll Brock in there. I mean, is that how it's like you envision a machine to see that live? Is that what it looked like in your mind?
Yeah, in my mind, if you coach basketball at the University of Texas, you got to have depth. You got to have a great roster. You need some NBA guys. You need some tough guys, some unselfish guys. So, yeah, we're proud. I think I've said it before. We're proud of the first team we're putting on the floor. When you get the job in April and you only got 1 player, Brock, and then it turns into 2, 3, 4, then you're out just trying to get the best players you can under kind of tough situations. I think we did a good job putting together a group that I think can be competitive this season, no doubt.
I know everybody's trying
Probably a question for them. This team's experienced and got a bunch of veterans, so I don't know if there's going to be a lot of guys getting in guys' faces. I think it's going to be more of a kind of an experience type leadership. And the guys you mentioned, no doubt about it, they're two of our best players. Leadership's going to have to come in different ways. First thing you got to do out of leadership is you got to have followers. You can't lead if you don't got anybody to lead. So each of these guys is going to have to pick and choose the times to be a great follower and pick and choose the times to be a leader, whether that's through actions or verbal or leadership comes in all different ways. But, we're definitely a team that, our depth is a part of our identity. And so our leadership has to have depth as well.
Chris, I know every coach on offense talks about wanting spacing and ball movement. How much is that process facilitated easier when you've got a big who's as skilled as Trey is that can do so many things for you?
Yeah, spacing's a big objective, in offensive basketball for sure, whether it's a pick and roll game or, a motion type game or an ISO type game. Spacing's kind of the name of the game. Obviously, spacing's a lot easier when everybody can shoot. It becomes a challenge when guys can't. Every guy on our roster this year is going to be a three-point shooter. You mentioned Trey. Christian's a really good shooter. When Dylan comes back, he's a really good shooter. So we feel confident that we'll have 5 guys on the floor at all times that are a threat from the three-point line. Have I ever coached a team like this before? I'd have to really go back and think. I know we've had a lot of combinations on the floor where we got 5 guys that can shoot. That Angelo State team was pretty good. We could shoot. But the whole roster to be three-point shooters, that's pretty good luxury to have as a coach.
It looked like there may have been a couple occasions where 2 guys were running to the same spot, but kind of execution-wise on offense and defense, and you see guys getting the game plan and being in the right spot and executing against an opponent that is wearing different colors.
It's a tough game to analyze basketball-wise, right? I mean, we're much more superior than Texas Lutheran in a lot of ways, so it's a game that really wasn't about the scoreboard. From our objective, it was more about us and can we set an identity. And I thought, I think you'd all agree with me. We played extremely hard tonight. We dove on the floor. We took charges. We tried to play the game the right way. We have a long ways to go, but tonight's a start. I think you'd see our value in ball handling, taking care of the ball. I don't care who you play or how the game goes down. When you have 4 turnovers in a high possession 40-minute game, you're taking care of the ball. So that's always been a part of our identity, and I'm not telling anybody a secret there. And then obviously defensively, they scored 33 points in a 40-minute game. Again, I don't care how the game's going down in a 40-minute game. If you hold your opponent to 33, you're playing some type of defense. So tonight I thought we established our culture, and we looked like a team that was trying to guard. And then offensively, we got a long ways to go, but I love the fact that, we come down the floor and we get a shot. It's kind of frustrating to me when you come down the floor and hand the ball to the opponent. I've never been a big fan of that, and it happened 4 times tonight, which is too many, but it's a good start offensively.
For your last ones, guys, go ahead.
Obviously, you want to have a strong mindset going into the season, and just to see those guys put that much effort towards the defensive end, in an exhibition. What does that tell you about where they are mentally? Just about a week out from the start of the season.
Yeah, I think our guys understand who we're trying to be, who we are right now, and who we need to be. December turns to January, February, March, and we'd love to play in April. Easy to talk about, really, really hard to get there. That's the kind of the first step. I tell the guys all the time, if Ramey's over on East 6th, and he's enjoying a slice of pizza, and Trey is in Westlake, and I'm in the Arboretum, and if we get asked the same question at the same time, like, who are you? We can't have 3 different answers. I can't be saying we're going to score 150 a game, and then, and Trey can't be saying, well, we're going to play a 2-3 zone. And everybody has to have the same answer. And who we're trying to be is a team that has a tough culture, that defends and plays March basketball when we have the ball in our hands on offense. So that's kind of who we're trying to be. I think for the most part tonight, it looked like we were all on the same page from where I was sitting.
Chris, how nice was it to be able to get a bunch of different guys in, and even the guys that go a little further down the roster, be able to play, and they've been working so hard, and they were able to kind of get out there and have some fun.
Yeah, it's always a good thing for a coach. You enjoy games like this for one main reason. You get those guys in the game that work so hard in practice. They're deserving of time. And so that's a positive, no doubt about it. You know, watching Creative take shots or take charges, watching Cole contest that shot around the rim, made a great pass. And of course, Gavin, you know, made his first three-pointer as a Texas Longhorn. So those things are good. And that was the objective tonight. No matter how the scoreboard would have gone, our objective was to log in some different lineups and minutes and give everybody an opportunity, and we achieved that. You know, like one example, playing the bigs together during that stretch, that looked good from where I was sitting. We went small ball a few times. That had some good things to it. So we got a lot done tonight with our lineups, no doubt.
Brian, last one.
I know the score is important in any game, but when you look at the box score, how do you read the box score? What are your things that you're looking at that your eyes immediately gravitate to and say, this is good, bad, this is terrible, great?
Yeah, some standard things, no matter who we're playing or where we're playing or who we're coaching. You know, and I think all coaches kind of have an identity, but, you know, you look at the assist to turnover battle. You look at the rebound battle. You look and see, you know, the free throw battle. I didn't like tonight's free throws 10 for 10. I like the percentage. I was not a math major, but I think that's pretty good. But I don't like 10 attempts. You know, I have to go back and kind of look at some times where, especially early, we were settling for too many jump shots. We have to get to the free throw line. You can't win 6 games in 3 weekends unless you make free throws. You can't make free throws unless you get there. But those are some things you kind of glance at on the stat sheet. Then it becomes game-by-game oriented. In this game, we wanted to defend the three-point line well. Thought we did for the most part. This game, we didn't want to foul three-point shooters. Avery had a mistake there late. So there's some things you always look at when you look at the stat sheet, and there's some things you look at specifically for the game in hand. What I'd tell you, too, you know, Coach Mike Wacker is one of the all-time great Texas Longhorns. I'll never forget my first coaching job. I was at Incarnate Word College in San Antonio. I was a graduate assistant. Went down to Judson High School. Coach had a couple good players. I was amazed by his practice, the teaching, the intensity, enthusiasm. I never forget. I went back and told Coach Casper I just witnessed one of the best practices I've ever seen. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's Coach." He treated me that day like I was Bob Knight or Rick Barnes, and so I just he not only is a great coach, he was a great player. He's just a great person. So we wish those guys the best of luck. This game was personal to us tonight because we wanted to unite the family. Coach Wacker represented so many people himself when he came back in the Irwin Center tonight. Certainly Coach Lemons and all the assistant coaches that he played for, all the players that Coach Wacker played with. So tonight was a cool thing with Unite the Family, and I wish those guys best of luck. You know, we used to be in their league when I was in Incarnate Word. It used to be the Heartland Conference. It's different now, but I've taken those trips to Seguin. That's a great college town, and that'll be a good college team in their conference this year. I think they've got good players, and Coach Wacker will bring the best out of those guys. So we wish those people the best. Also, not to keep you guys too long tonight, but just want to always thank the fans for coming out. We had a nice attendance in the lower bowl tonight. It's a good start, and really appreciate everybody spending their time to come out tonight. And I thought it was a loud crowd. The crowd impacted the game. Our players were excited about it after the game, talking about it, and certainly a great start with the student section tonight, the different groups, and then also just a lot of students coming on their own. So we look forward to building this thing. Tonight was a start, and we're going to get it done here. We're going to create one of the best consistent home courts in college basketball, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner than most people think. Thanks.